Hi, everybody. Uh, in today's Succeed Without Selling Salon, we are going to be talking about using LinkedIn and using LinkedIn effectively or not. Uh, a lot of people are not using it effectively and wondering why that's not working. So part of my goal today is to talk with you guys about what works, what doesn't work, answer your questions about how to best maximize LinkedIn. So let's just, do like an overview for right now. LinkedIn really is the business site. It is for business. It is not personal. And that isn't to say that you're not going to maybe weave in a little bit of personal, but it's not Facebook. Okay. So this is the place where you can connect with other business people to build relationships, gain credibility, get connections to the people you want to be talking to. It is not, and I emphasize not, the place to pitch. No one likes it. And unfortunately, what's happening is people are sending connection requests, and when the person accepts it, they're pitching them right out of the gate. And that doesn't work. We have to stop doing it. If you're doing it, stop. I think personally part of the problem is that people are taking like webinars or seminars, or they're signing up for these can't miss programs where they're being given like a script of what to say in a LinkedIn post. And I don't think they're realizing that if everyone in that class is going after the same target market and they all send the same pitch to the same people, those people quickly identify that they are being pitched, that there is no relationship, there's no connectivity, there's no real interest in getting to know them. It's this big assumption that they must need what I have to sell, because after all, I took this class and they told me all I have to do is this and people will be knocking down my door. Okay, it doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. We should be focusing on building relationships, on getting to know as many people in the business environment as we can and really know them. Know them to the point of trusting them. Know how they do business. Know who you want to be associating with and who you don't want to be associating with. And then, as you're building those relationships, you're really building a toolbox full of resources, so that then as you're engaging with people, you now have these incredible resources that you can offer to people when they say they are looking for something, and that increases your value. So here's how LinkedIn actually can be really valuable for your business. The first thing is you want to make sure that your profile is filled out well. Okay. And when I say well, I mean your picture is a professional picture. Pay someone to take your picture. This isn't Facebook. You need to be presenting yourself in a professional way. It doesn't mean you have to be wearing a suit if that's not what you do in your everyday world. But it does mean that you want to make sure that you are presenting yourself as a professional, as a business person. That's number one. Number two, your headline should say more than, it shouldn't say what your title is. Nobody really cares what your title is. I hate to break it to you, but it's true. What you want is to put in your headline information about the value that you bring. So, or the role that you play, not your title, but for example, mine says business advisor. trainer, podcast host, speaker, because those are the things I do. And it's keyword rich. They don't need to know that I'm the president of my company, because seriously, no one cares. Okay? And that's not what I would do for somebody. I'm not going to be president for them, but I am going to do these other things. So we want to take advantage of that. You also want to make sure that your summary is really filled out and doesn't read like a resume. You are trying to let people know who you are, why you do what you do, what your expertise is, how you got into it, the kinds of companies or people who you work with. I mean, you have a real opportunity there, and you can add media to it. So you can add pictures, links to videos, white papers, so to just give people a little more information about you. And then you want to make sure you're filling out as many segments as you can, because the more information that you put in your profile, the easier it is for LinkedIn to try and connect you to people you might know. And it's really, ultimately, the value of LinkedIn is in the people you're connected to and your ability to create credibility. So when we just stick with the people you're connected to, the more people you're connected to who you actually know, the more people you can become connected to. So the more opportunities you have to be introduced to your prospects. So LinkedIn isn't for pitching. It's not for doing outright prospecting, in my opinion, but it is great for prospecting research, because you can learn a lot about a company, a person in a company, and you can find out how you're connected to them. So then you can reach out to your connection and say, was wondering if you'd feel comfortable introducing me. And because you've already built trust with these people in your community, they're more likely to go ahead and introduce you. Okay? So this is why connections are really, really important. Now, so we have our connections. Now let's talk about credibility. LinkedIn also gives you a huge opportunity to share your expertise, to share your knowledge. You can start conversations in groups. You can write articles right on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn will promote them to people who are interested in those subjects. You can, in your status updates, you can share links to your blog or places, if you've been on podcasts or you're going to have articles in magazines, whatever it is. You can be sharing all of that on LinkedIn so that people get a feel for who you are and how you do business and how much you actually know about your subject matter. So they can start following you. They can get used to you. They can engage you in conversation. It really advances your credibility, and it gives you exposure and creates awareness around your business. Now, you don't want to be selling. You don't want to be pitching people. You want to be building relationships. And so we have to get this whole selling idea out of our head. It's part of the reason that I wrote Succeed Without Selling. There's a whole chapter in it on how to use LinkedIn, what to do, what not to do, because you can really advance your business significantly if you use LinkedIn in the right way. At the same time, you can really hurt your business significantly if you use LinkedIn incorrectly. And if you think about it, you've probably been approached by people trying to sell you stuff immediately on LinkedIn. It's off-putting. There's a good chance that you disconnect from them when they do it. It puts you like in a bad place when what you're trying to do is be in a really good place. And especially now when we're in this weird world and we're not really meeting people in person, we need to really maximize our LinkedIn activity, because that's the place where we can be engaging in conversations with people. We can, like, if you're in a group with somebody, pay attention to what they're sharing, what they're talking about, what they're doing. And if you feel a connection, go ahead and, ask them to connect and see if you can set up a Zoom conversation, a video chat, whatever it is, so that you can get to know them more. But don't do it thinking that you're going to be able to sell them something. It goes against the principles of sales, not the least of which is you don't want to try and sell somebody something until you really know them. And you can't really know them until you've started having conversations with them. So we have our profile, where you're going to make sure you have a good picture. You're going to make sure you have a good headline. You're going to fill out your profile as much as you possibly can. And I'm going to give you an extra little tip. Add your high school in there, no matter how old you are, because the people you went to high school with already trust you. And they're on there. And it doesn't matter anymore where you live or where they live, because it's a global business community. So you connect with people who you already have a trust basis with, unless you were sort of a jerk in high school. These people are going to already be open to helping you. I've seen it a million times. I've had the opportunity to help friends, kids get jobs. I've had the opportunity to connect with people to get, speaking engagements or opportunities to write for them. And these are people I went to high school with. I don't live in the same city where I went to high school. And a lot of these people I haven't seen in, well, other than the reunion, 30 years. So, and it doesn't matter. It's not like we have to get to know each other all over again. There's some weird thing about growing up with people. So take advantage of that. But see, you got to have that information in your profile, because then LinkedIn does all of its little dances and tries to figure out who you might know. Which leads me to another tip. Spend about, 20 minutes a week, maybe 20 minutes every other week, going to your network and looking to see who LinkedIn is telling you might know. You might have to scroll down, but go through those and connect with the people you know. Tell them why. When you hit the connect button, it's not necessarily going to give you the opportunity to send a message. So you might want to go to their profile and click connect there, because there you can add a personal note and let them know why you want to connect with them. And then once you've connected with them, take it that one step further. It's not licensed to sell to them or any of their connections. The more people you actually know who you are connected to on LinkedIn, then when you go to do research, and in the search bar, you put a company name or an industry or a role, like chief marketing officer or something. The people who are going to, you can actually, narrow that down and say, I just want to see second connections, because you already know your first connections. But when you can see your second connections, then you can see how you're connected to those second connections. And then you can reach out to your person and ask them to introduce you. So that's why having a pattern and a habit of connecting is so incredibly important. So there's that. And then there's the credibility factor. Share your knowledge. Share it. It doesn't have to be long. You could do it by video. You could do it by writing an article, sharing blog posts. There's a bunch of different ways that you can be sharing your knowledge. And don't worry that people aren't going to hire you because you've told them everything, because that's just not how it works. The people who hire you are the people who, yeah, you may have told them everything, but they know they need you. So you almost can't give away too much information. And so take the time, take the energy, go through your profile, have someone else go through your profile and look at it and make sure that it really accurately represents you and the value that you bring to your target audience. And then make sure you're connected to the people you know. Join a couple of groups, not a ton of them, but join a couple and start engaging and participating in them, and add content. Post on a regular basis. And when I say regular, I mean, you could post once a week and you'd be okay. I'm not talking about constantly posting, but really engage with the people you are connected to on LinkedIn so that you are continuing to build those relationships and you are top of mind because you're there. Okay, so that includes commenting on other people's posts, reading the articles that they share and then commenting on it, or sharing other people's stuff so then they share yours. See where I'm going with this? It's a community. You want to further build your community around your business. And so really think about it in terms of relationship building, not selling. We don't sell on LinkedIn. Okay? We can make people aware of things. We, like if we have a class that we're giving, a webinar, whatever it is, but we do not sell. Nobody likes it. And as a final reminder, there's more in-depth information in my book, Succeed Without Selling, which is now available on Kindle. You can follow the link. Really take the time. You've potentially got the time. Take the time to really go through your profile, make sure it looks good, represents you well, create a strategy for how you're going to share content, not only yours, but other people's, and set out to consistently be participating on LinkedIn. And I think you will find that you will be building some really incredible relationships and business will come because of it. Okay? And if you need help with this, or you want me to, review your profile, just reach out. You can direct message me, send me an email, whatever it is, reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'd be happy to do that. This is really important, and so I'm happy to help you out and make sure you're putting your best foot forward. So have a good one. Join me next week for another Succeed Without Selling Salon.